What it is, what it do? It's your boy Dapper back with another reaction just for you, and we get into Power Book 4 is Force, or as black people call it, Tommy. um, he's talking about episode 2, man. Episode 2 got busy. It got busy, and the boy Tommy, he showed out in this episode. I will not lie to you. But before we even get into any of that, make sure we're liking and subscribing. Again, it does better for me, better for you if you do both of those things. And also leave a comment, because I know you have opinions on just overall the video, the show, anything. So leave a comment, even if it's just a couple words. I appreciate that. But with that being said, jumping into it. Alright, cool. I got my notes here if you see me looking down. But Tommy had a big episode, as he should. It's his show, season 2. We right in the second episode. Need to have a big episode. So we saw that he killed Chewie, and that was just basically this, as he told Diamond, look, you got to set an example, because if we don't, do this the correct way, people are gonna think they could just walk all over us, which I agree with to a certain degree. And then goes on an episode for him. He links up with Vic, because Vic still in his mourning phase over Gloria, and they kind of both mourning Gloria Tommy's not mourning Gloria, which is funny because they were close-ish, I guess, but hey, who cares? Tommy's obviously mourning Liliana, so they're both in a period of mourning in a sense, So, but within that conversation between the both of them, I don't know if he was serious or not, offered Vic a spot in CPI, kind of just basically like, hey, we can use your services. Obviously, Vic being in the mental space he's in now, which we'll get to when we discuss Vic, he's not trying to hear that. So we move on from that. He obviously lied about not knowing who blew up Dahlia, even though it was Tommy. But then Tommy, who, Diamond, we'll get to Diamond next, but Diamond obviously got a new PO, as we spoke about before, and the PO shows up at the barbershop just when Tommy happens to be there, and Tommy gets to see, how the PO is pushing up on Diamond, and just he's overall a dick. Like, let's just call it what it is. He's a dick, and Tommy gets to see that, and unfortunately, with that being the case, Tommy has to go take on the meeting with Miguel on his own. Luckily, he kind of is on Miguel's like Miguel doesn't care as much. They've met already, so he's cool. He can go by himself. But when they get there, it's a shootout. The Serbs are coming after Miguel, and within the shootout, we get to see that Tommy ends up getting shot. Now, I haven't seen Tommy get shot since original Power, obviously, and it was just a funny. I hopefully I can find a clip. If not, I won't put it in. But the clip of Tommy getting shot is hilarious because he looks terrible. It's horribly acted out. It just looks really goofy. Shout out to my guy Brillo. It's a really goofy moment. But yeah, he gets shot, but ends up using that, him getting shot ends up helping him out because it gets him closer to Miguel's sister, who he likes. So he ends up in a situation. Alright, yeah, so he ends up getting closer with Miguel's sister. Boom. So while getting close with Miguel's sister, because Miguel's sister's obviously a nurse, she's tending to his wound, he overhears a conversation that a group of Hispanic men, Hispanic man and his, grandma, happen to be overhearing. They speaking in English when they're a Spanish family. Very coincidental, if you ask me. But hey, who am I? I didn't write the script. But I'm just saying, having a full conversation that's supposed to be, on the low in English when you guys are native Spanish speakers is kind of crazy. But Tommy overhears the plan and then comes up with his own plan. This is where Tommy gets the genius in. The genius comes in from this. Tommy's like, hey, he goes down, he's like, yo, look, my plan is, look, let's put these two against each other. That way our competition is taking each other out, putting us closer to being the plug, because the goal is to overall be the plug to go straight to the cartel, and I'll eventually be bigger than the cartel, I'm assuming, but step by step. So this works. He ends up, they end up pulling up on the drop, masked up for the, they usually never mask up in this show. They're masked up, and boom, they put hands on people, kill a couple people, and the people that did see their face didn't make it. So nobody's the wiser. Everybody thinks the Serbs think the Miguel hit them. Miguel thinks that he got the hit by the Serbs. So now it's war. Because Miguel got to fight back at this point. But yeah, so that's the case. And then they did all that, and then they stole some weight too. Mind you, CBI is already doing good. It's not like CBI isn't doing good. They're probably doing the best out of anybody that's not, a quote unquote plug. So it's crazy. And then Tommy ends his episode by, obviously because Tommy drives the most identifiable car in Power, period. He gets shot at by the jealous treason dude on Jenard's team. I think his name's like Little K or something. I don't know. But because of that shot, somebody's daughter died. So, yeah, that's not good. But it is realistic that people do get caught in the crossfire, especially in Chicago. We know what Chicago's known for. If you know, you know. So, yeah, but that's Tommy. Like I said, a power-packed episode for Tommy. A lot went on. He made some smart moves, smart plays. He had a couple goofy moments, because he also had that punch, and it looked like it just was bad editing. It just was bad, but the overall storyline overarches the goofy moments of the episode. All right, cool. Boom. So we got Diamond. You know what I'm saying? Diamond's like this, we know, the smooth, suave, dude that's trying to keep the peace. Because like I said in the last episode, we know Diamond's coming from being in jail and, doing his bid. He came out trying not even to deal with none of this, but ended up having to get back into life, because that's just what happens when you come from this life. You can never run too far from it. It always seems to catch up to you. So Diamond and Tommy get into it because, as I said before, it's tough. Like, I don't know how this is it seems like it works now, but I can foresee that there could be a potential for him and Tommy to have butt heads on a major level, because they're already butting heads on smaller things, and those things usually just grow to be a bigger thing. Obviously they disagreed with the killing of Chewie, the dude that died, but obviously Tommy was like, we gotta set the standard, but Diamond's like, yo, the body's the body, we can't have too many bodies, and it's just a mess, we're making money, like, let them do what they do. But then Diamond gets gangster, because Diamond ends up going over to go see Treason by himself on his lonesome. Mind you, he's in their territory. That's how you know Treason's a joke, for unfortunately, because he went over there by himself. He could have took both of the bodyguards if he wanted to, 1-on-1, 1-on-2, to be honest. Go talk to his brother and basically tell his brother, like, look, you got yourself in a world of trouble, and don't go around starting a war you can't compete in. And he basically left it at that, because Jenard's still on his little brother butthurt flow, so he's not really, jacking, what his brother's saying, but he's kind of taking it to heart a little bit, because Jenard knows he's in a bad spot. Like, it's bad. We know Jenard owes money, things of that nature. We'll get to Jenard next. But then, obviously Diamond ends up back at the barbershop. He's doing his job, legit, cutting hair, regular, got his regular sitting in the chair. Tommy pulls up, but then his PO pulls up, pushed up on him, makes him go take a P test. Because he has to take the P test with the PO, can't make the meeting with Miguel, but it ends up being a savior for him, because he probably could have died or got shot, whatever, at that, that meetup, but he didn't, because he was peeing in a cup. So shout out to the PO, I guess. But eventually, Diamond didn't have too much going on this episode. Obviously he's involved. He was involved in the little plan Tommy had, as far as what's the word I'm looking for? It's them sneaking in on the drop and causing havoc. He actually had a goofy moment of his own where he did his little Final Destination, where he ran into dude with the truck he was driving, which is another goofy moment, because it just looked real fake Final Destination-ish. But it's power. Like I said, the storyline trumps the goofy moments for sure. But Diamond had as much as Diamond, I don't want to say Diamond didn't have a lot to do this episode, because he did, but because I honestly think this is one of Diamond's better episodes. Like, it showed all facets of who Diamond is, and how he has to pivot to be different people with a different person with everybody, like who he has to be with Tommy, who he has to be with the PO, when he has to get gangster, set people straight, and even be a big brother in the same moment, where he's like, basically like, yo, I know we on both different sides, but I'm trying to help you out, bro. Like, I ain't gonna baby you. You a grown man, but I'm telling you good advice, because you in my shoes that I was wearing before I went in. Where you running your own thing, albeit a smaller, way less successful thing going on for you right now. But I'm trying to help you out. And then we saw Diamond on the smooth, suave side. Like, we saw Diamond was clapping cheeks this whole episode, pretty much. You had, old girl, and then I thought he was getting arrested. Turned to find out that's just the old CO from when he was in jail that he was already dealing with. So it's like, damn, I ain't know Diamond had it like that, but you know what I'm saying? On his Billy D. Williams flow. Shout out VKJ for that one. But yeah, it's like he on, you know what I'm saying? His timing, but we got to see who he was, and that was important. Like, we really know what Diamond's about and like things he values, you know what I'm saying, and how he handles situations. All right, we got Jenard. We've seen from episode 1, Jenard's in a world of trouble, bro. World of trouble. I don't know how he's gonna get himself out of this stuff. He's been getting like lucky, you know. Old girl gave him a loan. You know what I'm saying? There's things have been happening that have just benefited him. Because like obviously he's mad overall at his brother, but more so mad at Tommy because he feel like Tommy came in, took his space basically, and like now he's in his organization. You know what I'm saying, that he helped build up. So basically it's up now. He won hands because he know Tommy killed Chewie. He got that information dropped to him. So it's like he wants to handle that so badly, but he cannot even make that his priority. It has to be like third, fourth on the totem pole for him because he owes money to Miguel, and he is in bad because he owes territory to the Serbs. So it's like he can't even think about Tommy right now. And like at the time of the episode beginning, the money that was due to Miguel was due the next day. And with that money being due the next day, the Serbs pulled up on him in person, in the flesh, pulled up on him and said, yo, you still didn't get us a territory yet. And then boom, he's like, yo, take this money. But little did they know, they don't know because they don't care about that. But then in the Jenard's head, he's like, damn, that was money I was supposed to be giving to Miguel. Now I'm down money. And then now the gang, they don't trust him because they are not understanding why he not getting back at Tommy when he took out one of their mans and he knows it. So now he's looking like a bad leader. He's broke and he got a loan out from his chick. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Serbs want his head. Miguel don't want his head, but will take his head if you don't get the money. So it's like, Jenard got a lot going on and none of it is positive, bro. None of it is positive. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's nothing good to say about Jenard right now. And like, I would love to see him come up. I think I'm foreshadowing, I'm predicting that I think Treason will have a come up of some kind. It has to be. It has to be some kind. Something's gonna just fall into their lap that helps them. Maybe something like, you know, if Miguel and the Serbs going to war, maybe benefits him. We'll see how that falls out in episode 3. But right now, Jenard's, as I said last episode, up the creek without a paddle, man. It's the guy, Walter Flynn. Walter Flynn ends up fostering a deal where, you know, it's some bad drugs, but because, you know, racism and not caring and just wanting money and greed and, you know, all those other, you know, sins. Basically, he ends up taking the deal because he needs the money, and you know what I'm saying, to pay back, you know what I'm saying, the dudes from Dublin because he's in bad with them, and they're gonna push those drugs in the South Side, and you know what I'm saying, to push those drugs, he ends up going, you know, he wants to work with Jenard to do that, and he doesn't want to do it by himself because he feels like he can't do it by himself, so he wants Vic to do it with him. He pulls up on Vic, and we'll talk about Vic because Vic storyline this episode was something else to even be discussed for sure. But we see he goes to Vic. Vic is like, nah, not feeling it. Vic tells him go to Claudia. Claudia is like, I'll do it. He goes to Claudia and he ends up striking up a deal with Claudia. He's like, yo, F it, we'll do it together. Even though he's reluctant to do it because he really wants to work with Vic. He never wants Claudia in this realm of the world, even though Claudia's kind of forced herself in it. And we'll talk about her next. But with that being the case, the episode goes on and, you know what I'm saying, Vic is going through what he's going through. And again, we'll get touch on Vic next, pause. And ends up being a case where Vic finally comes around and Vic is like, you know what, we'll do it. But I don't want to work with my sister because my sister's a nut job and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to work with my sister. Good, valid points. And just like that, Walter drops his daughter out the equation. Now it's him and Vic. And as we see, we got Claudia here. The Flynn family is falling apart. You know what I'm saying? It's falling apart at the seams. Walter is picking sides. And Claudia doesn't like it because Claudia has always wanted to be what Walter wants Vic to be, but Vic doesn't really want to be that. So it's crazy. But we see Claudia as a desperate woman and will do whatever it takes to get what she wants. We see she opens up she comes into the episode and we see she's sleeping with the leader of that crew from Ireland, Dublin, whatever. And, just for information. Literally just for information. Which is crazy. Like, I feel like there was a different way to go about that. Like, I feel like you could have, I don't know what you should have done, but I feel like sleeping with her for information is kind of crazy. But, through that information, she finds out what's really going on with her dad and kind of, tries to use that against him. It doesn't really work. But she tells her brother about it. And, it doesn't really help her situation to know these things. But I'm pretty sure she's going to find a way to use it, to use it to her advantage in the coming episodes, because she's probably going to strike back at her own family because she's tight about being axed out of the deal that her dad came to her with that changed up on her because Vic now wanted to be down but without her. So she's about to go wild because we already saw she killed old girl who didn't even have anything to do with Dahlia being, leaked to the public. She's just a loose cannon that kind of moves super emotionally for a business that kind of needs more logic behind your movements. So we'll see. The Flynn family's in hot water. All right, so Vic has had a hell of an episode because obviously we see he's down in the dumps. He's at Gloria's headstone in the graveyard. Look like the picture they showed, that angle looked like it could be an R&B album cover. No lie. Like, it just looked dreary and dull, like how the old school album covers used to be. But he's down in the dumps. He's in his mourning process, which is understandable. But he's a gangster, and like at heart, well, at least he's part of a gangster family. So like, you really don't have time for this per se. You know what I'm saying? You see his father. You know what I'm saying? He thinks his father's gonna use him as a pawn, which he probably still is. But you know what I'm saying? He doesn't want anything to do with it at first. You know what I'm saying? And obviously tells his dad, go to Claudia. You know what I'm saying? Go to Claudia. She wants to do it. I don't want to do it. You got one child. You got two kids. Go to the other kid, basically. And, you know what I'm saying? He's just going off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? He ends up going to a liquor store because obviously he's a mourning. So he's not handling it properly because he's not seeking professional help. So he hasn't spoken to anybody really about it. So he's really just drinking his life away. Randomly, this is another goofy moment that happened, but we let it slide because it's power. He ends up in a situation where a whore is or a hoe is in the, you know what I'm saying, the liquor store. They catch eyes. He takes it to the back room of the liquor store. He's getting a BJ, and then the store owner knocks on the door trying to get him out, which he should do because you can't let that go on in this back room of your store. They shouldn't even be back there. And then he comes out, puts a gun to the owner's head, robs the store, gives Shorty $50, and then it like all that. Then, you know what I'm saying, it's just crazy. Gets back in his car, drives away, ends up getting pulled over, you know what I'm saying, because they call the cops, gets pulled over. He drops the Flynn thing, like, you can't arrest me, I'm a Flynn, blah, blah, blah. Ends up getting arrested anyway. Father bails him out. And then finally the father, and you know what I'm saying, he comes around to the father's plan of like, yo, you know what, let's move these drugs, whatever the case may be, but I'm not doing it with my sister, because him and his sister at this point had already fallen out. So the father just like, yo, let's do it. Let's ask Claudia out. But the thing is, Vic, in the back of his mind, he already knows what his father's ploy is, to use him as a pawn and just get, like, you know, free labor out of him, essentially. So he's going to be trying to take down the father's empire from inside, which is smart, kind of, because it's a smart move for somebody that's in this emotional situation that he's in, because, you know what I'm saying, you can't really take it down from an outside perspective, so you take it down from the inside. Smart move. Lastly, just important things to make note. I'm just going to use her as the face. This is Stacey Marks. She's the AUSA. And I'm just going to use her as the face of what's going on, you know, federally with the police and things of that nature. She, you know, has been trying to get a task force to investigate, you know, the Tommy Egan and, you know, all the things going on in the streets that I seem to all connect to him. But she had no support because beforehand she was going at the police. So she doesn't have support from the police. But what ends up happening in her favor, even though it's not a good thing, is that a young child gets killed by a stray bullet that was aimed at Tommy. Remember, we spoke about it earlier, from the member of Treason. I guess his name is Little K, and it hits the girl, unfortunately. But that puts the superintendent, I think is what his title is, in a tough spot. And the guy she's actually, dating or talking to or speaking with, one of the members of the police department, I think he's the commissioner or the chief or whatever his position is, and he was unable to help her, but he was able to assure her that because this happened, now she can get the task force. So that changed the dynamic of a lot of things, because how CBI felt comfortable, they probably aren't as comfortable now, because now they're getting investigated and things of that nature. Remember, they already snuck and got Tommy's fingerprints, so all that's going to come back into play. So that, I say all that to say that what's coming up in the next few episodes is probably going to get crazy. And like, this episode honestly felt like Power. Like I'll be honest, like this episode, it felt like regular Power. Like I said, I opened up in episode 1, like Force didn't really grab me in season 1, but it's grabbing me now. Like I'm locked in because I'm invested in storylines. You know what I'm saying? Besides a few goofy moments, I'm really invested this time around. So I'm hoping it can keep it the same energy. Like episode 1, episode 2, it's been good. It's been intense. It's been good information passed around. Like nothing seems like it's been wasted information or wasted things. Wait, did I talk about Vic? Oh, I never talked about Vic. I gotta move this to the end. Tired. But yeah, so yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the rest of the season. But with that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you like I said, like and subscribe is important. Commenting is important too, because I want to discuss with y'all. I respond to every comment, so I want to discuss with y'all how y'all feeling about what I'm doing, about the episode going forward. Give me your predictions, all that stuff, man. Big dripper stand up in the ocean. Everybody trapping, we get lost. He ain't 4